Welcome back, everyone. Now, please welcome Dustin Baker with Padre Island National Seashore. And we're here to talk about an influx of debris that we've seen on our coastal bend beaches that happen to be balloons. So tell us how this is affecting our coastal bend.
Yeah, that's right. So we can all agree that balloons are fun. I like them, kids like them, adults like them. But when we accidentally let them go, or even worse, if we intentionally let them go, it's easy to not think about what the end result is.
Right.
But since Saturday, we've collected over 70 Valentine's Day balloons.
Unbelievable. I was going to say this is all from Valentine's Day. Is that correct?
That's correct. And these are just the ones that we're finding on our coast. The Ibarra family found over 60 in one day. We've had about a dozen more show up since then. And these plastics can take up to 400 years to break down in the environment.
Unbelievable. And people are picking up these balloons, and is there still a problem as they pick them up, or what is the end result whenever they do pick them up?
Well, obviously we have a lot of people who do the right thing. When they see this trash on the beach, they pick it up, they take it to a trash can, but these are just the balloons that we're finding. If you think about the amount of coastline we have here, most of them are still out there in the water. And not only do they become a form of litter or marine debris, but they pose a direct threat to wildlife that lives in the water. Animals can get tangled up in the strings on the balloon. They can mistake them for food. Animals all around the world, all the way up to the sizes of whales and sea turtles.
I was just going to say, those sea turtles, I would hate for that to happen.
Right, because if you were to ask some sea turtles what they want to eat for dinner tonight, their answer would be jellyfish.
Exactly.
And if you
they do not want to eat the string.
Right, and if you imagine that one of your food sources is jellyfish and you're swimming out in those murky waters and you see this out there, you could easily make that mistake and consume it. And
absolutely.
No animal wants to be eating plastic.
No, not at all, or trash to say the least. And that's another thing that really breaks my heart. Whenever I go to our beautiful beaches here in the coastal bend, I will come across not necessarily balloons, but other types of trash. There's so many different programs that we can participate in. What can the public do to help?
Well, the first and most obvious thing is to not release balloons. You know, it's something that people have done for years. It's a lot of fun, but think about that end result. You also can start to use recyclable products. You can use reusable water bottles, because this is a systemic problem. It doesn't just happen here at our beach. These balloons didn't necessarily even come from Corpus Christi. If you take a look at some of these items here, this is an example of other marine debris we've collected, and you can see that this is international debris. These are washing in from other countries.
And you were actually showing me something else before the show. This is actually a hat that came from Florida. How crazy is that?
Yeah, this was found on our beach a couple weeks ago. Captain Allen. Come on, man. Gotta be more careful.
Come on, Captain.
Of Panama.
We're not talking about Captain
City
John
Beach.
either.
I know. What can you do?
Right. So I know you brought some other props here. What are some other things that you don't really consider as trash that's here on this table?
Well, right. People come all the time to collect trash off our beach, but there's a lot of fun stuff you can find out there too. And it actually is legal to collect seashells on the national seashore. So these are some examples of things you might find out there. We've got angel wing shells, the Texas state shell, the lightning whelk here. You've got olive shells. And one thing that I think is pretty neat are sea beans.
Oh, wow.
This is an example of a sea bean here. It's called a brain bean, and it's a fruit that floats all the way from Mexico.
Oh my goodness, I have never seen anything like that before.
Yep, and then these hamburger beans here come from the tropics and the Latin America region. So we get more than just trash floating in from other countries.
I see. And tell me about this guy right here.
Yeah, so one thing that we see a lot of is folks come out, they want to do the right thing, pick up trash, and then they come back with bags of this. And if you didn't know what this was, you would probably think it was some kind of electric wire.
I thought it was trash whenever you first showed it to me.
Right, it looks like trash, but it's actually a soft-bodied coral called sea whip. And so we have people bringing bags and bags of this stuff, but if you encounter this on the national seashore, you can leave it in its place. It's a
Okay.
natural byproduct of the ocean.
Yes, we're actually making jokes that you can make a puka shell out of something like this as you're looking for some seashells, right?
That's right. Yeah, go crazy with
Why
it. Have
not?
fun, right? You know, anything you collect out there, you can keep.
There you
but
go.
you do want to make sure if you're collecting shells on our seashore, always pick it up and make sure there's not a little critter living in there, because we don't want to take anything that is still alive from the beach.
Absolutely not. So tell me about your Junior Ranger program.
Yeah, so like every national park, we have a Junior Ranger program at Padre Island. Kids can come in, they receive a booklet, and all they got to do is learn a little bit about the park, how to take care of it and protect it, and they will be awarded a Junior Ranger badge for their efforts. And we do not age discriminate. This is for kids of all ages.
Okay.
So anyone can come
Can I
to the
do
park.
it also?
That's right.
Okay, great.
You got to complete the book first, though.
Okay, sounds good.
Yep.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time and for being here today.
Of course. Thanks
We
for
had lots
having
of
me.
fun. Of course. Come by next time, too, okay?
I will. Thanks.
All righty. All right, well, coming up next, we're talking homecoming season at TAMUCC. We'll be right back on Coastal Living. You're watching Coastal Living on KZTV. Get the scoop on all things local by following us on Facebook and Instagram. We'll be right back on Coastal Living.